by and you find yourself with the same situation in front of you and you haven't changed. You haven't changed. And so how do we do this then? How do we move from change to transition to transformation? Prayer. Prayer. It's where we become conscious as often as possible about what we're thinking about. That's prayer. Becoming conscious, tuning in, listening to the subtleties, becoming aware of the thoughts that we were unaware of. Because it said that if ever a prayer was answered, it is always answered. If God ever answered prayer, then all prayers are answered. You see, love, life, and law are the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so as I started off, the way I started off, I said then that we can't manipulate and we can't manage life, love, the law. We use it in our prayer. And so Ernest Holmes says this about prayer. This is out of the textbook. He says, prayer is essential, not to the salvation of the soul, for the soul is never lost, but to the conscious well-being of the soul that does not understand itself. There is a vitality in our communion with the infinite, which is productive of the highest good. As fire warms the body, as food strengthens us, as sunshine raises our spirits, so there is a subtle transfusion of some invisible force in such communion, weaving itself into the very wrap and woof of our own mentalities. This consciousness commingling of our thought with spirit is essential to the well-being of every part of us. The conscious commingling of our thought with spirit, that's prayer, is essential to the well-being of every part of us. Prayer is its own answer. Prayer is its own answer, you see, because we are dealing with a force that we cannot fool. We can't manipulate it. We can't manage it. We use it. We change our thinking. We let go of the subtle ideas as we shine the light so that we can see them. We let go of the ideas that before now we were unaware of. We let go of any ideas that are limiting us, that's not a part of us. We engage in prayer until we are changed, until we are transformed, until we open up to a new idea about who we are, until we open up so much that we can catch the glimpse of God's divine idea as a center of peace, until our vision is is expressing in such a way that we are filled and fueled by it. Divine idea in the mind of God, so that letting go then of the old, of the thing that we've outlived, becomes easy. We do this until we get it in our hearts, in our minds, in our soul, and our spirit. We engage in prayer until we get it in our hearts and in our minds, in our souls, and in our spirits, you see. We get it. We let go. We let go. We let go. We let go. Well, we don't have to be standing in fear about what happened tomorrow because we prayed today. No, we become transformed by the renewing of our mind and our words and our thoughts. We look at it over and over and over and over and over again until we become conscious of the very thing that we are thinking right here and right now. And we choose in this moment then to let it go, to open up to something new until we get it in our hearts and our minds, our souls, and our spirits. We engage in prayer until we get it in our hearts, our minds, our souls, and our spirits, until we are transformed. I'm new. We're somebody new. Our ideas are new in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, and in our spirits. That's how we do it. That's out loud. That's trusting out loud. Letting go. Shining the light so that you can see it. So that the pain becomes something other than pain. In our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, in our spirits. Come on, practitioners. Help me anchor this idea. Where we know right here and right now that there's only one life. Only one mind, only one power, only one presence, only one energy, only one essence. God and only God. We know that this power and this presence, that it is love, that it is joy, that it is beauty, that it is creativity, that it is the infinite ideas that are everywhere. It is all things possible. It is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Life, love, the law. And I know now in this moment we become one with it. We allow ourselves to be in its rapture. No place for us to go. And in becoming aware of our oneness with it and all that it is, I know now that each one of us, we open up to the light that shines so bright that is ever available to us in our life. We trust in it out loud. And I know that we are moved into seeing rightly those things which no longer serve us, seeing rightly those things which we've outlived, seeing rightly the divine idea of God now, where I know that we are moved to becoming expanded in our consciousness, a higher level of thinking and knowing where we are moved to being and doing in ways that we've never been before and doing things that we've never done before. I'm talking about a high idea, God's idea, where we move from changing our thinking and our thoughts into transition, where we let it go, where we just let it all go, where we know that heaven awaits, where we find ourselves as somebody new, where I know that each one of us in this moment is transformed by the renewing of our minds, by thinking thoughts that we've never thought before, where we realize that our prayer is the answer. And so I know now, and I speak my words for each one of us here today, that anything up until this point that has kept us from engaging in prayer, we let it go. Anything that has preoccupied us so that we don't slow down to be present with what we are thinking about in this very moment, we let it go. I know that each one of us, in letting go, we are assured in our hearts, in our minds, in our soul, and in our spirit of something new, something grand, something we never thought of. And I declare and decree then in this moment that the great law is acting upon the thoughts that we are now having. And that it can do nothing other but to demonstrate, to act upon these words right here and right now. And so we let it. We let it, we let it, we let it. And in this moment then, I am moved to giving thanks for the healing that's occurring even now, for the realizations that some of us have gleaned and grasped right now in this moment, a divine idea, God's idea, that we've become one with. And I know that the divine right action, the activity from change to transition to transformation is happening now. I give thanks for it. Oh, I give thanks for it, for not holding back and trusting out loud. I give thanks for this and for so much more, that I am moved then to just releasing these words and letting them go into the law of mind that has already said yes. In me, I fully accepted it. Nothing in me denying it, turning away from it, but a full out affirming of it. And because of it, I know now that the demonstration has already been made. It's in me. You see, I'm transformed now in this moment. It's already done. So I know now, as we live in and from the demonstration, we are moved into an even greater expectancy of more and more and more of God, of something simply that we can't even imagine, the unexpected. Oh yes, it's done. We let these words go now, we let them be, and together we anchor by saying, and so it is.